Good morning, students. Very hearty welcome to GC Tech Hub CS tutorials. In today's lecture, we are going to discuss some application-based HOTS questions from the first chapter, that is Python Revision Tour. By the name itself, it should be clear that this chapter is a revision of your entire class 11th Python portion. So this chapter I won't be covering in the class because it is a revision of class 11th. So I am taking up some application based HOTS questions from this chapter. So let's move ahead. So you can see the first question here. Out of the following, find those identifiers which cannot be used for naming variables or functions in a Python program. That is, you have to find out those identifiers which are valid or invalid according to naming identifier rules in Python. There are certain rules which we had studied in class 11th, like your identifier cannot begin with a capital letter, sorry, it cannot begin with a digit, it cannot have any spaces, it cannot have any special character other than underscore, and the cases, that is capital or small, it also plays a major role in differentiating between identifiers. So you can see here we have some identifiers, and let us identify which one is valid and which is invalid. So we have the first one, you can see price into quantity. So as you can see, price into quantity, in between you have a multiplication, that is asterisk, which is a special character, hence this is not allowed. Then we have class. Now this class is what? It is a keyword which is there in Python for defining classes, so we cannot use this. Next is for with F capital. This is correct, we can use this. Why? Because it is our keyword is for where F is small, so that is correct. Do is again a keyword, so we cannot use that. Fourth call, it starts with a digit, as you can see here, so this is incorrect. Totally, this is I think it is correct. Why? Because it follows all the naming rules. Okay, and then we have row 31. This is also correct. Why? Because there is no space in between. It doesn't start with a digit, so it is correct. And the last one is also correct. Why? Because there is an underscore over here. Now we come to the next question. Fill in the missing lines of code in the following code. So a code is given and we have to fill in the missing lines of code. The code reads in a limit amount and a list of prices and prints the largest price that is less than the limit. So a limit amount is first entered by the user, and we will be entering a number of prices, and what this program is going to do is it is going to find out a maximum price, that is the largest price from among the entered next price, which is less than limit, that is which does not exceed this limit. You can assume that all prices and the limit are positive numbers, and when a price 0 is entered, then the program terminates and prints the largest price that is less than the limit. So let's start. Now limit is already entered, max price is set to 0, and read the next price. So next price is also read from here for the first time, because if we execute this while loop without asking for next price, the condition will be false right in the beginning and this loop will never be executed. So that is why the first next price has to be read right before the loop starts. Now user enters a price over here and we have to figure out what code is to be written here. Now what is there in while? While next price is greater than 0. Obviously if user enters 0, the loop will stop. So we need to write the specific code for checking for figuring out the largest price which is less than the limit. That means whatever price the user is entering, it should be less than limit. and max price is obviously going to be one of those next prices which are less than limit. So what code are we going to write over here? So let us write the code. That code will be, so I am writing the code over here. Firstly, we will check for a next price which is less than limit. So we'll write if next price is less than limit. Only then the next step has to be reached. Now what will be the next step? The next step will be to find out the maximum value. Now for finding the maximum value, we normally follow one method, that is we take a variable big and assign it as 0. Then we use a loop where we enter a number, say number, and we check if the number is greater than big, then we assign number to the big variable. So by the end of the loop, the value which is largest, big, would be containing that value itself. So over here also we can apply that kind of a logic. If next price is greater than max price, less, we can write it less than equal to limit. Why? Because it should not exceed limit, but it can be equal to limit. So if next price is greater than max price, then we will write max price equal to next price, right? So at the end of the loop, max price will contain the highest price which is there, that does not exceed limit. So that is the code which is to be written in this placeholder. Next is read the next price. So now for reading the next price, we can simply copy this line of code, that is reading next price. That will do our work. We need to keep in mind that the indentation for if is not there. We have not indented if, it just lies below while. That means our loop should terminate over here itself. Okay, so we have already done that part which should be within the loop. Now outside the loop, we see if max price is greater than 0. If max price exceeds 0, then we are going to print its value. That is, print the value of max price. Because it's a non-zero value, so we can print its value. And if max price is 0, when can it become 0? If the user enters 0 right in the beginning. That is, in this statement itself the user enters 0. That means this condition will never be true, and hence the code inside will never be executed. In that case, max price will remain 0. So if max price remains 0, then we can write some statement over here, print. We can either write it is 0 or any message we can write, that is max price is 0. Got it? So this is what we are going to do. Over here we need to keep in mind that the indentation. So here we don't have any indentation, here also we don't have any indentation. This if lies directly below while. That means it is outside the while loop body. So if we need to check how it is, you can see over here that this while loop body is over here. It's confined to only this region. So this is the while loop scope. And this if statement lies outside that scope. That means after the max price is deduced within this loop, then only we are going to check this condition. So these are the types of questions which you can get in your exam. Next is predict the outputs of the following programs. So again an output prediction question, and output prediction questions are very common in your board exams, and they are very scoring also if you know the concepts well. So if I have to find out the output, we need to do something known as the dry run. So we need to do the dry run of this program here. So how to do it? Now you can see over here we have count equals 0. Let's do the dry run of it. So we have count as 0 while count is less than 10. While count is less than 10, print hello. So we can see we can print hello over here. And because there is no end statement with a space, so we will be it will be printing hello in separate lines. Count plus equals to 1, so it becomes 1 now. Now after this statement is executed, the program control goes back to while. So this you can see initialization, condition, statement and update expression. Now we go back to this condition. Count is 1 now. We check is 1 less than 10? Yes. Again print hello. Count plus equal to 1. It becomes 2. Then again we check is 2 less than 10? Yes. Print hello. Increment its value by 3. 3 less than 10? Yes. Print hello. Increment its value. Then 4 is also less than 10. Print hello. Make it 5. And so on we can continue. 5, 6, 7, 8. So let me just continue it. Suppose this is the point after printing hello and after executing this statement, the value of count becomes 8. That is after this statement. After executing the update expression, the value of count becomes 8. Suppose goes back, 8 is less than 10, yes, again print hello. Then increment the value, it becomes 9 now. So now it becomes 9. So I'm going to write 9 over here. So 9 is less than 10, yes, again print hello. And now it becomes 10 because of this statement. Go back, is 10 less than 10? Answer is no. So this is the point where the loop terminates. This point loop terminates and the control comes out of the loop. So here we can see that hello is printed how many times? It is printed from 0 to 9 times, that is 10 times. Got it? So this is how we have to solve such questions. Next is x equals 1, 2, 3. Now you can see what is this? It is a list. So it is a list data structure and we have count which is equal to 0. And because it's a list data structure, we should also number its we should also give values to its indices, that is 0, 1 and 2. So counter is a variable which is equal to 0 while counter is less than len x. Now what should be len x? That is the length of this list which is equal to 3. So if while counter is less than len x, what is counter? It is 0. So while counter 0 is less than len x, that is 3. So we'll check, is 0 less than 3? Yes, answer is yes. Print x counter. Now what is the value of counter? It is 0. So x0 is what? It is this value, that is 1. So we will print here 1 into percent. That means now this 1 is what? It is an integer value and we are using a repetition operator here, that is asterisk, and we want this percentage sign, which is a string value, to be repeated how many times? This X counter times. So that means this percentage value will be printed once. Okay. Next is for Y in X. Now we are using that variant of Y, that is for variable in collection or for item in collection. So for Y in X, so the first value is 1, print Y into asterisk and a space. So Y is what? 1. So we are going to print it over here. The first time this was printed. Now Y into asterisk. So asterisk is printed with a space. There is a space over here, so I am representing it this way. Next, for Y in X, that is 2. For 2 in X, 2 into this. That means now this was the first iteration of the loop. After printing this, line is going to change because we have not used end equals space. So 2 into asterisk and space, that would be repeating this asterisk space how many times? Twice. Then for 3 in X, same thing is going to be repeated how many times? Twice. Like this. And counter plus equal to 1. So now counter becomes what? 1. Now we again check while counter. Now I'm going to erase all these values here. Okay. Now counter is 1 while 1 is less than 3. Yes. X counter. So X counter means now X1, which is equal to 2. 2 into the percentage sign. So percentage sign will be repeated how many times? Twice. And then again this whole thing will be printed, that is so this will be repeated once again. Okay, and the third time it is, now it is 2. 2 is still less than 3. So now I am writing the next line after this over here. Now this percentage will be repeated thrice because X counter is what? 3, and this whole thing will be printed as it is because there is no change in this. It's the same piece of code. And counter plus 1, that is 3. Now the condition is 3 less than 3? Now the condition will be false and the program control will come over here. So our output will be what? First this will be printed and below this thing will be printed. That is our output. Next, X equals apple, pear, peach, grapefruit, and this is enclosed within single quotes. So this is what type of a data type? It is a string data type. Now X dot split comma. So split is a function which is a string function which is used to split or break a string based on a certain special character or special certain character. So you can see the character used over here is comma. So wherever comma is there, this string is going to be broken and it will be converted into a list which will be stored within Y. So Y will contain the values like this: apple, pear, peach, and grapefruit. So now we have created the list. There is a for loop here for Z in Y, that is for item in collection. So for Z in Y, the first value will be taken as apple. This is Z now. So if Z is less than M, So it is giving me, now here what we have to do is we have to do a character by character comparison. So now M is small letter, okay, it's small m, and apple it starts with small a, apple starts with small a, and M is already there. Now in the alphabetical order, or also if we see if in the ASCII order, A, small a, it comes before M. Whether you take the, if you are confused with ASCII order, then don't be confused, because we will be considering the alphabetical order. So in the alphabetical order, A comes before M, and A's ASCII value is less than that of M. So over here, what we are going to do is we are going to compare A with M. So is A less than M? Answer is yes. Print str dot lower z. Apple will be printed like this in small. Already it is in small letters, it will still be printed in small letters. So once this is executed, else will not be executed, and again the control will come back here. Now for Z in Y. So now the next time Z is going to be the next value, that is here. So again here we have small p. Now small p falls after M. That means small p is greater than small m. So in this case we are going to write, so if z is less than small m, so here we can see that here p is greater than small m, so this condition is false. So we go to the else part and print it like this here. Then next we have, again the next z is peach, that is it's this one. So again it starts with P, so we will be executing the next one, peach, and the last one is grapefruit. So as you can already see, grapefruit starts with a small g, which is again less than M, so it will be printed in lowercase only. So this is the output for this question. So students, this is how you should do your exercises, right? Dry run is very essential when it comes to solving problems, and in computer science, especially programming. It not only helps you develop your logic, but also many conceptions, many misconceptions get cleared if you use dry run regularly, if you get into the habit of using dry run regularly. So that's all in today's video. We will meet again in the next class. Please watch this, and please solve other questions of this type.